What's up? It's your boy J House, aka Sky Dweller, aka the philosophical phenom. Back at it again. A little rusty, but we out here. And we out here because there ain't no slowing down. There ain't no stopping. Technology only moves forward and it only accelerates when you get to certain points. And we are at that point now where technology is accelerating faster than we can even comprehend. And it's going to get to a point now where it is accelerated so much that we can't even tell what it's going to be doing next. We don't know, we can't predict what the singularity is going to bring us because it's called the singularity for a reason. The technological singularity states that advancements in AI and technology will be so rapid and so advanced that we won't know how to predict what's going to happen next. When the next software update hits, we don't know what it's going to do. Some people say that's frightening. Some people say that's evolution. Some people say it's a utopia where everything we want we'll have, every desire, every wish, every command. We will have a genie at our disposal, and then we will merge with this genie, and then we will become the genie, and then we will continue to keep evolving into a godlike life form. So we're literally worshiping our future selves. That's the key takeaway from this video, is that this vision that humanity had, this spirituality, this faith that humanity had was really us philosophers, deep thinkers, envisioning what we were going to be like. This glance into the future, this feeling, this instinct that we had was really us, just not there yet. But because we're gonna eventually get there, we have the brain mechanism, so to speak, for it. And when you take certain psychedelics, certain drugs, and stimulate that part, you get that godlike sense. But the godlike sense isn't you being superior. It's you merging with the collective and realizing that it's, everything is connected and that we're all together. So that's also because, if you look into psychedelics, if you look into consciousness and personality and how the split with the ego and the id, our separate self is due to the fact that, you split off from life itself and into your own, life. But that's just a phase. That was just something that happened in a bigger picture. So take away whatever caused the split to happen to make you feel like you're individualized. And you're now then back to being part of a bigger collective. Now, whether that bigger collective, and then are we forming that bigger collective now to be able to grow and think as one in real time? Or has there been something beforehand? See, we always are looking to see if there was something beforehand or something that spawned us, but nobody really talks about what if we are the first to do all this, and we're going to make the collective bubble. Like basically everything, when Carl Sagan talked about the pale blue dot, and how Voyager's last picture of Earth or whatever from Saturn saw Earth as this pale blue dot that looked very insignificant, but yet all of our hopes, dreams, stories were contained in that. So there was a dichotomy in that aspect. So not to go too far out, but we are part of an existing organization of energy called the universe, from a phenomenon, an event that happened 13.8 billion years ago called the Big Bang. Now, the details of this event, we know a little bit about. There's still stuff that we don't know, though. But we know enough to formulate, a relevant picture of how things developed based upon what we see with our satellites and telescopes in space and on Earth. And with experimentation, we can decide what's real and what's not real. Okay, so since technology is accelerating, to bring it back to where this video first started, and that human beings being at the forefront of life is on a trajectory because of technology to becoming godlike, to evolving. There were limitations to Earth and our evolution here on Earth now. I mean, 5 billion years, that's a long time, and now we're at that point where we've developed tools to leave our planet, just like birds develop wings to leave their nest, and so on. So now we are leaving the nest of Earth, or you could even say the womb of Earth, and the galaxy is still our nest. And then leaving the galaxy, leaving our nest, will be more equivalent to wings. And those wings will be so drastically different in that the physics of movement will be changed to where, birds flying through Earth is using classical mechanics, and humans, or whatever we evolve in, life at that point, will be traveling through space with different physics in faster than light travel and things like that, moving with the fabric of space instead of through it, creating warp bubbles. So, it's wild how, things started microscopically, ended up macroscopically, and now we're going back to microscopically, only we're going back being an intelligent, evolved form, is what it feels like. Because if the visible matter, the stuff that we, live in, is only 5 or 6% of the universe, then, the evolution of life and consciousness may be to develop enough to be able to inhabit that world, because that's the majority of reality. So this 5% is just kind of like our birth and transition, and we just happen to transition at a point in time on Earth to be at that precipice of evolution. It's almost like, when you were a monkey right at that time, to where, like, you were one of the first batch of aware monkeys, aware Homo sapiens. And you're like, oh, cool. This is like a new way of living. I'm alive now. I'm not just operating off of instincts. I got awareness. I'm me, I think. Therefore, I am. So we're in that equivalent stage right now with evolution, technology, humanity, where we're going, how we're going off planet. So to bring it back again, this type of thinking, this type of realization, this type of perspective, this type of philosophy is all woven in spiritual cosmology, which gives you an outlook on how to go about your day-to-day in this new world that we're entering, this new reality that we're realizing that we're in. So, continue doing what you do to make money and survive, but just know that there's so much more to come, and you have to prepare yourself